Hello, this is Daniel Bayon with Daniel Bayon's Sports and Wrestling Talk. And welcome to my show where I talk about last Friday night's Major League Wrestling's Fusion episode. The show started off where Shane Strickland, who is the World Heavyweight Champion, drove up in his car. The way that he was able to get out of his car without having to open the door makes it look like it may have been a Corvette of some kind. It was black and red, so it was very beautiful. And I believe with him was a man who is undefeated, but I don't know his name. And Sarah De La Rento interrupted him, and she is the female manager or valet of the challenger for tonight's main event against Shane Strickland for the heavyweight title. And that is Pentagon Jr., who last night on Impact Wrestling lost the Impact Heavyweight title to the former champion Austin Aries. She was saying that the title is rented along with just like the car is, because after the episode, after that match is over, he's going to be the former champion. Pentagon Jr. is going to be the new champion. And what I liked about this was they cut into him, say, when Shane Strickland was about to refer to as the B word, they cut into that by starting the opening credits of the show. And the first match had Santana Garrett, which the first name is bad enough. She's called the modern day Wonder Woman, which I'm surprised they would try that when Beth Phoenix used to wear a Wonder Woman top over her crown, or whatever you want to call it. Not a crown, but something over her head to make her look like Wonder Woman. But anyway, I'm not sure. Okay, tonight, by the way, is their next episode of MLW Fusion, and there are some people debuting, so I'm wondering if the first match, which is a women's match, I wonder if somebody debuted for them. This might have been Chelsea Green's first match with them, so I'm about to press play to see who the opponent is.
And the fans know it as well. But yes, quite a challenge ahead of her here this week on MLW Fusion. With that in mind, let's go back to Rhea Tim Hart.
That's exactly who it is. It's Chelsea Green. I don't know why she had the idea to let the blonde hair come out of her color and go back and going to be a brunette. I gotta be honest. I think she's prettier with her brown hair than her blonde hair. I think she looks better that way. And to be honest, I think it's great that she gets to be normal instead of pretending to be crazy or psychotic, whatever word you want to use.
So we'll see how all of a sudden talking to each other. A lot of smiles on the faces on each end, at least momentarily it was.
They go for the handshake.
That, but let's see how long this will last. In this bout here at MLW Fusion.
Santana undefeated here in MLW.
Side waistlock by Santana, then Chelsea gets out of it into a waistlock of her own. Then Santana goes into a side headlock and a takedown. Let's see what Chelsea goes for. Gets a head scissors to get out of that headlock. Santana jumps out of it. This is great action. So I don't know how often we see this in WWE women's matches. Santana goes for a wrist lock. Then a flip, side rope flip by Chelsea, get out of it into a wrist lock of her own, and then Santana goes for a side rope flip of her own into a side headlock again on Chelsea Green. This is great action. Hammerlock by Chelsea into side headlock again. Sorry about that. I couldn't help it. Then that Irish flip. Then she rolls over her back. Then front flip over the back of Chelsea. Misses that left hand. And she misses that right hand. Covered by Santana. She goes for double leg takedown. She only gets a 1 count. Then a leg sweep by Chelsea to a cover of her own for a 1 count. A slap by Chelsea Green to Santana. Let's see what happens next. Santana starts hitting her with 3 right forearms, it looks like. Then a reversal by Chelsea. Then like a baseball slide underneath her. Then double underhook, like Tony calls it. Second half cover by Santana. 2 kick out by Chelsea. She asked for the referee to come, and the referee stuck it to Santana, the old-fashioned heel tactic. But then Chelsea comes, pushes the referee aside, grabs Santana by her left collarbone, straight down and across the top turnbuckle pad.
You got to do what you think it takes to win a match. Sometimes, Tony, you go out and play referees or sports, when you're out there against your brother, you want to deal with a little bit more.
Double knees into the, I think it's either throat or chest. I think it's throat. To on Santana by Chelsea. And then she comes with a knee to the face, to Santana's face in the corner of the ring.
Right now has been legal.
Pulls her across from the rope into the middle. Not really the middle, but closer to the part of the ring where you call it a cover. 3 pin attempts, and she kicks out all 3 of them.
It's almost like an alter ego. You get her fired up, the lipstick gets smeared, and it becomes a bit of a hot mess.
Well, with that,
And Chelsea Green, like Tony Schiavone's broadcast partner Rich said, it's like the psychotic character's like an alter ego to her, because she started to mess up her lipstick like she used to do in TNA all over again. So it's very interesting to see this, and I can see even more so why they say that independents are the future of wrestling, because you can see a lot of old school booking, a lot of old school techniques in the show, and you can see where there's a lot more progression with their characters than in the big time, because they write everything and they don't give creative freedom to. Really, I don't know of anybody they give creative freedom to. The last time anybody had any creative freedom, it was CM Punk in the WWE, and he didn't really have creative freedom. He just did it himself because he was just a rebel like that. So you can see how, just like the old school, when you follow the ways of the old school, ways of the tradition, you can see how it's better that way, instead of how, even though everybody wants to be in the big time, it's better to be in the small time, because you learn more. Because you get to create your own character. You can take parts of your personality, put it in your character, and you have more of an opportunity to to be yourself and be the way you know your character should be. So that's what I love about the independent shows on TV. And she just threw Santana into the ropes, or the corner as we call it, Irish whip, throws her back into the middle that she just took her from and into the middle turnbuckle pad. Now Santana's been doing this a little longer, so I got a feeling the reason Chelsea is doing so well is because she's trying to help Chelsea grow in her character. So she's been doing a really great job, Chelsea Green has, as far as wrestling and taking an advantage and keeping the advantage. And she did like a bow and arrow type vision, then she threw her against the middle turnbuckle again. And Tony Schiavone just said what I said a few minutes ago, and that is that Chelsea Green is psychotic. It's interesting. She goes for a side or a rear chin lock. They just said I didn't even know this. Santana Garrett trained with Scott Hall and Larry Zbyszko. And Larry Zbyszko was actually in the building that night. It's really interesting to hear things like that. Just to know that there's a possibility of Elijah coming out and getting involved and things of that nature is very interesting. So it goes back and forth with the right forearms. Santana's taking control of this. Irish whip to the corner. Gets thrown over the top. Rope on the apron, then a right forearm from Chelsea Green. Chelsea Green's actually going out on the apron with her instead of bringing it back in the ring. Couple of side kicks like what we see from Daniel Bryan to an opponent who's on the corner, on the mat. She gets blocked that time and pushed on the apron the third time. And she rolls out to the ring. Santana is waiting for her. Corner. She kicks her in the head to get her back on the mat. See what Santana goes for right here. She goes up top. Cross body. Hooks a leg. 1, 2, kick out. But that was very impressive. Another thing you don't see a lot in WWE women's matches is the top rope maneuvers. She did what I used to see all the time from Medusa, that handspring into the corner, then a Russian leg sweep to Chelsea Green, and then Chelsea Green once again gets her right shoulder up to break the count. Alright, that Rostock again, but Chelsea gets out of it, defending her with a headbutt. Let's see. She's in the middle rope, she's going for something. Santana gets out of it, then she slaps her. Goes for that, what Trish used to do. She was going for picking her legs up over her head and to grab Chelsea and like a Frankensteiner maneuver, pulling her down, but she gets pushed off. And let me see the next thing after that. Gets pushed off. Chelsea climbs up top. First off, she stops her with the boot. Then whatever she went for from the middle rope, she missed. Santana comes. This is that kick. Chelsea goes. Backbreaker. Stab her. Hooks the leg. 2, kick out. Right shoulder up. And there was a backstabber that Carlito Colon used to use. So let's see what Chelsea goes for right here. It's out of it. Most like Mickey James type DDT. Hooks the legs. 2, 3. Santana wins. I don't mean this as a hyperbole. Just the other night I said that most of the matches on SmackDown Live were 5-star, but I sincerely meant all of it. We see a replay right here of the whole match, and yeah, I'd say everything in that match was a 5-star. Let's see how at least how Chelsea responds. I'm laughing because I'm not sure what to think of this. I don't know if she's crazy. I don't know if she is pretending. Yeah, she hugged her. She was sincere about it. So yeah, I would say that they make it look like it's just and not only that it's just a character, but that when it's over in their character, it's like it's just business in that scenario. So it's great. They show pictures of the combatants for the main event: Pentagon Jr., the challenger, and the heavyweight champion Shane Strickland for the main event tonight at that time. And they also had announced something else. Yeah, Simon Gotch Prize Fight Challenge. He actually has his own prize fight challenge, open challenge. And they went to a commercial break, first one of the show. They come back. They promote their next TV taping in Orlando, Florida.
Before we get to that, we want to take you back to 2 weeks ago.
Everything you need to create the outdoor space you've always wanted.
Shop Memorial Day savings to get up to 20% off. Major League Wrestling comes to you from Orlando, Florida, the city beautiful. And up next is the Simon Gotch Open Challenge.
Oh, I'm sorry.
We want to take you back to
They were in Orlando, Florida for this taping, and they were promoting their Simon Gotch prize fighter open challenge, but they want to show a replay of something first. Yeah, they showed 2 weeks ago what the team he's a part of did to Jimmy Havoc, they called him. And this was like in the parking lot. And I'm actually curious about this. Because they're so old school that I was surprised they showed this, but in fact it was just like a few hits and then it was over. And they left the guy alone. I think that's a good sign. Then they show earlier, before the show went on the air, they had Tom Lawler, the leader of the group, talk about what happened. Let's see.
Wrestling fans, and especially Jimmy Havoc, I would like to apologize from the bottom of my heart. I would like to apologize for the beating that I laid upon you. I would like to apologize for the fact that despite going out there getting thrown through thumbtacks and tables, you can't take a vicious punch from one man. There is not anything out there that you can do under the sun because you won't step into it.
You're saying how sorry he was that he ended up they ended up doing what Hills usually do. He ended up just insulting the man by saying that something as simple as a fight he can't handle after going through crazy stuff in the ring. Let's see what he actually says after that.
Major League Wrestling fans, and especially Jimmy Havoc, I would like to apologize from the bottom of my heart. I would like to apologize for the beating that I laid upon you. I would like to apologize for the fact that despite going out there getting thrown through thumbtacks and tables, you can't take a vicious punch from one man. There is not anything out there that you can do under the sun because you won't step into it that is going to stop me, Jimmy. It's not my fault you're back home in London town having a great old time.
He said that there's nothing that he can do to stop. There's nothing Jimmy can do to stop him, Tom Lawler. That it's not his fault he's back in, I think he said English Town or something.
I'm sipping your tea and crumpets. This is about
and all the things they do in England.
When you step in there with a fighter like me, you're going to get exactly what
And he
you deserve.
said,
I apologize.
he was basically saying he was sorry that he's the type of fighter he is. But when you go against somebody like, for instance, ACH, doesn't look like a fighter. He looks like a punk because he made Simon Gotch go against him, and he could have gone against him. Then when he did go against him the week after that, he wasn't even supposed to use the arm that had the metal plate without having the padding over it. So what it really shows, at least the character Tom Lawler, is that as tough as he can be, he looks for the easy. He looks for a way. He looks for an advantage, which is something that is not uncommon. It's that because he's from MMA, it makes him look bad. That we know he can be tough and everything, so why doesn't he just act tough? This is the type of question we always ask when we watch villains like that. So it's perfect. It really is perfect for his character. So let's see who answers the open challenge.
And this whole display right here, this is, it's you or Tony.
All three of them come out together. But their hands are over the other one's shoulders, running in place. And what's really interesting is that we know their steps, but we can't see them because they don't go against the ring like in the old days. So it's very interesting to see how they climb up there because it makes it look like it's difficult. This is the first ever prize fight open challenge.
The finest athletes in the world. And if you can last 5 minutes with a man Tom Lawler calls the great match, you will be rewarded handsomely with $250.
So the prize is $250. Sorry, I can't help that because usually when I need to clear my throat, it's because I'm starting to not sound so good in my voice. That's why I clear my throat like that. You see right there, it's because I'm afraid I'm starting not to sound so good. Excuse me. So let's see who's going to try to face him. Let's see how far he goes. Let's see how well this guy can do. By the way, speaking of open challenges and how this is a perfect time for somebody to debut in a match like this, tonight at 7 o'clock in the Major League Wrestling Fusion broadcast, Jack Swagger, who is using his real name, Jake Hager, is going to debut tonight. So it's very interesting to see who he goes against and if if his wrestling style is the same way it was in the WWE. Some other people are going to debut, but I don't remember. Oh yeah, former WWE Cruiserweight Champion Reg Swann gonna make his debut. It's gonna be interesting seeing how they book him and how far they go with the titles and everything, because they haven't even, I don't think they even started their tag team title tournament yet. So it's going to be interesting to see where they go with their divisions. Like, you have heavyweight division, tag team division almost started. So it's interesting to see where they go with the mid-card titles. And I just wanna say that the guy that came out to accept the open challenge looks like a karate master, so that's interesting also.
$250, you're not going to see him running out of the dressing room in a stampede for that. So here he comes, Danny Santiago is entering.
Danny Santiago's when it comes out.
Money, a chance to be on MLW Fusion. Big deal for anybody here, Rich. Yeah, no doubt. Danny Santiago with the opportunity of a lifetime right here. You say, okay, $50, that's it, really? What a chance to get a national TV.
Well, and I agree with Tony Schiavone. $250 is, he said that you're not going to get a lot of people, not like a stampede for that, but that's still a lot of money. So that's why I know if I was able to do anything physical and it was something I knew I could do, then I would jump at something like that, because $250 is still a lot of money to get, and it's still a lot of money to pay at the same time. So that's why I would understand anybody coming out for something like that. That's a lot of money. It's just that to a lot of people, they may already have that in savings, so that's why they don't think of it as much. Anyway, this is going to be an interesting match. So you see the former vaudevillain go against Santiago. So everything goes for as a kick. Gets blocked. T-bone suplex by Simon Gotch. See what he goes for here. The cradle pile driver that Jerry Lynn made famous. Cover. 1, 2, 3. I was kind of expecting that because of how the guy looks and everything. So let's see later on. I'm going to see later on tonight how if they do it again, or if they just have them do a tag team match with him. They even show him, I don't know. He took one of the rolls of dollar bills that he had in the bag, and I don't even know if it was real money. But it's that's good to see old school tactics like that. and there's a backstage interviewer
In a few moments, I will be joined by
named Casey Lennox, was about to interview
I will
somebody.
be joined by Maxwell J. Friedman.
Maxwell J. Friedman is who she's about to interview.
Guys, what are you doing coming out of Maxwell J. Friedman's locker room?
Nothing. Nothing bad. Couple of questions. Where's Friedman, and what on earth do you think?
He wasn't there, but somebody else was, and this lady told her, "Don't say anything." So the question is, where is he? And then they show that, because this is an hour show, that main event heavyweight title match is up next.
Experience Major League Wrestling Fusion live as national television TV for Sports Season.
Next Thursday, they have their next TV taping in Orlando, Florida, at 6:30 p.m. They said something about a fight club.
Experience Major League Wrestling Fusion live as national television TV for Sports Season.
GILT nightclub, that's what it is.
What? Somebody asked out like $3,000 pressure. Is that domestic beer? Oh my God. Is that a prophylactic? Who did this? Who did this?
Leaving your locker room, but
Oh, they're going to be hearing from my
So Maxwell J. Friedman is obviously the rich, spoiled kid that I saw in last week on the first taping I recorded of their show. And we can smell the domestic beer, the cigarettes, all that stuff that they were doing in his dressing room. And when he asked who did this, he said, "They're going to be hearing from my attorney, that's for sure." And just instead of it being offensive or vulgar, it's just funny. That's what mainstream, or that's what America, in big time, in professional wrestling in America, big time wrestling, that's people, I've forgotten what it's like to watch that, but to also see great wrestling. And that's why I think they prefer the smaller venues than the WWE or TNA. Because a lot of they're just too ridiculous sometimes. So that's why these shows are, because you see a lot of old school qualities, you see a lot of old school style shows, and it's really great to see.
Always determination. Always has a good game plan when it comes to these big matches.
They show a video compilation of Shane the Swerve Strickland, which is the MLW Heavyweight Champion. And they show a video of Pentagon Jr.'s valet talking to Shane Strickland.
Pentagon doesn't prepare. Pentagon acts. Shane Strickland
and just showing clips of the of how they set this match up. With Shane Strickland going around places that Pentagon Jr., like him having like a wall, something on the wall, and just really strange things. What happened last week when he did like Great Muta and he spit mist in the face of Shane Strickland and almost could have blinded him. As a matter of fact, they said it did blind him because he got his vision back. So that's what's good about that, is that he can see what's going on as he faces his opponent tonight. The show continue airing audio of his valet talking, and Pentagon Jr. They show a clip of another match he had, and just the popularity he has with the audience. And then they go to the tail of the tape, how they're the height difference, the weight difference, the hometown, where they're from, type of style they wrestle with, their signature moves. And what's interesting about this is when they say how heavy Strickland is and how heavy Pentagon Jr. is, they put pounds for Shane Strickland and they put kilograms for Pentagon Jr. And obviously in Mexico City, that's what they go by, is the kill. That's obviously how they announce the weight, is by the kilograms. Just like when they used to announce Lord Steven Regal and any British person or Bobby Eaton as a tag team partner. And they would show any member of the Blue Bloods, whether it's a tag team or a group, they would always say 18 stones or whatever stones. And then they would finish it with another weight measurement that Brits use. So things like that are always what make professional wrestling interesting. And his style, of course, is lucha libre. And his finisher, which when I first saw Package Pile Driver, I thought it was too dangerous. But when you see the way they set it up, it's safer than a traditional pile driver. It's interesting to see. Well, let's see. Shane Strickland's finisher is, our signature move is,
Swerve's 191 pounds on a Pentagon Junior 5'11", 95 kilograms. That's about 209 pounds out of Mexico City. He brings in strong lucha style against the hybrid attack Strickland.
We're getting set for a MLW World Heavyweight title fight. And this should be a great matchup. Rich Joaquin.
Not only a World Heavyweight title fight, but the first title defense for Shane Strickland.
They say this is the first title defense that Shane Strickland has had since winning the title.
Well, there's no doubt that Pentagon has earned this title shot, but look what Shane Strickland will have to deal with. The impresario herself leading a phenomenal athlete in Pentagon for this world and heavyweight fight.
Yes, just like in Impact, they're saying the same thing about Pentagon, and that is that he's got zero fear. Zero fear.
And he ends the Selena. The Pentagon you find. That's what it is all about. Selena, the trap for Strickland a couple weeks back. Struck. What they are here tonight of this.
I think they bring in they bring in a guitar. Looks like a shard guitar. For you have these three men with guitar and violins, I think, and sombreros. Actually, it's 5 men. They have a woman in the middle behind the valet. See what they're gonna do or sing. Oh, the Mexican national anthem. I'm trying to keep from laughing. For all we know, and the opposite word than the actual Mexican national anthem. So